This is the pre-show. This is the pre-show music. Enjoy. the sound. Oh no. Some of them tracks are just, they're just like, oh, a little depressing. Some are like, oh, 2 minutes. I'll be back in 2. It's the R9cast, the official Black Edition Concon Christian Super Dope show for ElectronBandit.com, representing whoever I feel like representing. Depends on the week, From week to week, Sometimes some people get on your nerves and you be like, nah, no representation without document explanations. And then, later you be like, okay, you back in the rep list. Is that a thing? The rep list does, yeah. But, I like this song. This song is called Sal Sanctuary. Because salsa, it's supposed to be, it's more like flamenco, but whatever, it doesn't matter. You get the idea. I named it before I actually solidified the exact totalness of the actual flavors, and it ended up not sounding like salsa, and I almost broke stuff. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And we're gonna fade that out. Fade to black. Or to 0. Anyway. Hi guys. Hi. Oh, loud. Loud. Hello. Okay. So yeah. If the title of the show means anything, it means that we're gonna talk about that. If you don't know what that is, then I will school you on that, which is not a lot of schooling. I barely know. Anyway, Bridget in YouTube says, love your music, more peeps need to hear it. No, they don't. Well, maybe they do. Actually, you know what? Hear it or not, I just want the monies. You get to a point in your life where you say, okay, I like to do this, I like to do that, blah, blah, blah. You either say, well, I'm going to do this, I don't want to do this, but it pays a whole bunch of money, or I want to do what I want and doesn't pay as much, right? Right? What are you going to do? 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 You're going to find out how to do what you like and get paid the money. The more money. As much as the most money of the other thing that you don't want to do. Because what's the point of living if you got to do something you don't like just for money? Come on, son. You know that's not happiness. Money does not equal happiness. Happiness equals happiness. And happiness is different for everybody. Everybody's level of happinessness is, varies. A scale, spectrum. Some people like the smell of jasmine. I just happen to like the smell of jasmine, but that's not the point. Jasmine smells good to me. Some people like pizza a lot and hamburgers. Hey, if that's all it takes, then you're good. Some people like, I need a 25,000 foot yacht. Okay, that's too long. I need $1 billion yacht with hydrofoils and everything. If that's what you need to be happy, something wrong with you. I mean, that's just them. Materialism isn't as important as it is. I mean, given that our society is kind of capitalistic, I'm just saying it is. You could be like, no, it's not. We're all about family and... Okay, sure. Anyway, what we finna talk about, besides video games, that'll seep in somehow. But that's not what's hot, right? I mean, the console wars, boom, boom, shots fired, blah, blah. The dust is still in the air. Dust hasn't settled yet. And when will the dust settle? I mean, I'm on the COVID timeline. When the COVID settles and everybody's back to the new normal, because right now we're in the new normal. The new normal is post-COVID, which means still going to be a lot of people wearing masks. That's not going away. Still going to be some regulations on restaurants and all that stuff. That's not going to really go away. I mean, not anytime soon. I would say at most, the closest, summertime 2021. Closest. But I don't think that's going to happen because of the nature of the beast and because of the nature of us, the other beast. Yeah, because our immune system's like, yeah, we got antibody. Hey, where y'all going? Wait, but you're not done. Wait, what if I get again? Later, antibodies is gone. You assed out. Get sick again. See? So, I don't know. Unless there's a cure, give us a cure. Not talking about vaccine. We're talking a cure. We're talking about practice. Anyway, we're not talking about that. It is the new norm. The new norm. Earliest summer 2021. And even the new norm will be kind of a hybrid of what's going on right now. So we'll have, movie theaters, they need to make them pods or something. Kaiju says more like summer 2022. I don't want to be too pessimistic. So Kaiju, I hope everything's good with you in the Big Apples. But yeah, possible, of course. But I'm saying the earliest 2021. Oh, actually, you know what? I take that back. Because given that the whole world needs to be vaccinated, right? So until that happens, so that's gonna take at least another year, right? It's gonna take. I'm saying another year. Vaccinations haven't started happening yet on a public wide scale. So anyway, let's just say a year from now, to be on the safe side. Anyway, if we look at the new norm as far as everyday life and all that stuff, movie theaters are assed out. They need to, like I was saying, they need to like figure out some bubble situation, 2 people bubbles, make the bubble theater or something, or just a movie theater, right? It's there. You can either make boxes, closed in boxes with a sophisticated ventilation system, which is dumb, or you could have like the crazy 8K 88-inch screen, 2 people sitting there, and you could rent that out for a movie. Be like, yo, that's that'd be $40. Now that's not enough. $30 a person. You could watch this movie and have complimentary drink. Actually, complimentary drinks is bad because that's where they make all their money. There could be a shift. Remember when theaters were like hot garbage and they were like the sloped concrete floor and it was like, somebody tall sitting in front of you couldn't see nothing? Remember when it was garbage like that? And remember when they started introducing stadium theaters? I was like, yo, you went to that new theater? It's like a stadium. You're sitting down. It's like bleachers, son. You can see everything. Wherever you sit, you can see the screen. Remember that? I remember that because I'm short. And so if a tall person sitting from me, can't see. But now, every theater is stadium. Well, every theater that's still open, stadium. So, what's the next evolution of theaters? Theaters. Sound like Richard Pryor. Theaters. I say, like what I just said, you can have like just intimate spaces. We say no more than 10 people per intimate space room. Or you could do the 2-person joint, right? Where it's like a little room, little cozy room, little love seat and stuff there, and the cool thing about that is that they can have a big, 75-inch, whatever type of screen, right? But they can also have like a really dope sound system because it's such a small space. You don't have to have 59 speakers. You could do 7.1. You could do the freaking lighting. You could have projectors projecting stuff on the walls. You could have a little motor in the chair because it's only one chair. It's not, D-box or whatever. So it might work. It might work. It's just about adapting, And still, after even, cure, everybody's, COVID's not a thing no more, really, for real. Still, I think that if someone would to make that, I think it would still be, it'd be all right. It'd be viable. Here's the thing, right? So I remember they changed it. It used to be the Back to the Future ride at Universal. And then they changed it to Simpsons. And I don't know if it's the Simpsons ride anymore. I think they changed it to something else. But anyway, the point is, it was a giant screen, kind of, it was probably IMAX, but it was big and it was kind of curved. It was projected, obviously. And there were, I don't know, like 7 or 8 pods that the people would get into, and you'd ride the ride, and they would all move at the same time to the one thing playing. So you can do the same thing, except, you have the pod social distance and stuff, but, it would be isolated more as far as breaths and stuff. That might work. But, then, anyway, it doesn't matter. We're not talking about that. We're talking about The Mandalorian. I don't usually talk about movies or TV shows, and I kind of do sometimes, but not usually. It's all about video games. It's all about like, the ponies are like, yeah, what happened to all the power? I can't do pony accents. It's very hard. And So, aloha, legend. Hope everything's good with you and your delicious meats. That sounded, I always say that, doesn't sound kosher. Well, I'm sure, I don't know if your meats are kosher, but it doesn't matter to me, because to me, it's meat. You know what I mean? I'm drooling already. Jeez. Anyway, aloha. But yeah, so I haven't spoke on season 2 of The Mandalorian yet, because I'm still kind of absorbing. My brain, I'm trying to figure out how Dave Filoni and your boy Jon Favreau have taken Star Wars to the place where it needed to be. Now, I'm not going to say that The Mandalorian is the best thing ever, Star Wars ever. But I will say is that I look at The Mandalorian and I'm like, that's a cool show. And then I look at the movies, the Abram/Johnson movies. And I'm like, that's what it is. It's just like a sigh. It's like, how can this show right here be better than those 3 movies put together? All those 3 movies put together versus what they have released from The Mandalorian as of today. Mandalorian wins. And why? Why does The Mandalorian win? Well, people say Baby Yoda. People say Grogu. I'm gonna call him Lil G. Lil G has totally taken the mainstream media, the zeitgeist. It's all about Lil G. Lil G just be like, he looked at you or whatever. He does a little funny thing. It's like, oh, right? And your boy Werner Herzog, he was like, don't be a coward. Use the puppet. He told that to Jon Favreau. I had to do a bad Werner Herzog Havers. Anyway, and he used the puppet. He listened to him, and he used the puppet, and it was a good choice because now some of it is augmented with CG. There's a lot, like in this second season of Mando. There's a lot of more CG, and it feels like, oh, this is a little more budget, yo. This is a little less low budget. Even though the first one still looked beautiful, they use a lot of the volume and stuff. They still use the volume here, but they augment it with, and I think they actually have a location where they shoot outside and all that stuff. So that production value went up. I mean, they have the money. It's not like, oh, Disney's making it, they can't do a high, but no. It's about being smart with your money, right? And making a super dope product. And they have found a nice middle ground where it's like, oh, okay, the special effects is dope, except for dude with green with the jeans in the background. You know what's that? First, I think maybe that might have been. Well, you know what? I can't say that because people working from home. So maybe that editor that was working on that one shot or whatever, a couple of shots, missed that, or he thought somebody else would catch it and be like, I guess they're gonna take that out in post. I don't know. And he's just, that's not my job to take that out and just send it. I don't know. But they fixed it. But honestly, they got more press because of the Gene guy shot. You know what I mean? So maybe it was, maybe they left a coffee cup on the table for real, for fun, just to be like, oh. Then they find it and they're like, oh, and then there's more talk about your show. You know what I mean? So it's a smart way to do some not viral marketing, but just some, I guess it is kind of viral. Meme marketing, mimicking. Guy Judo says, I still haven't watched season 2 yet. They still do the artwork at the end. I love that. So yes, they do. It's freaking dope. It's dope. The last episode, I just gave you a spoiler. Grogu is the name of the child. I'm gonna give you that one. It's kind of cool when they kind of introduce it and stuff. I was like, okay, that's kind of dope. I was like, Legend says the Weather Mandalorian does green screen. Weather Mandalorian does green screen is totally dope. It's a giant LCD. Oh, the way. Yeah. Yeah, they did. Yeah, that's the volume. They call it the volume because the room is entirely surrounded by a green screen and the ceiling has a green screen, LCD, or it's probably LED, or it's probably I think it's actually backlit LED projectors. I believe that's how they do it. And that way, the light isn't interrupted, obviously. And the light coming from the LEDs, the LED volume, affects the character and his Beskar armor, which is highly reflective. So that's a smart move on them, because it would have been a nightmare to do green screen with all that reflective stuff. Nope. And the cool thing is, I was watching behind the scenes, and they showed how they do like the miniature. I don't know if they do it on season 2, because there's a lot of CG as far as the Razor Crest goes, but they were doing they were using the model. They were using actual practical effects for the flybys and stuff on the Razor Crest, and that's super highly reflective. So he had to make like a mini volume basically for the Razor Crest. And I was like, you know what, that's kind of dope, because the Razor Crest itself doesn't actually move, so they just built it around the actual ship, and the camera moves by the ship, so they could do that. So I was like, oh, that's pretty dope. Bridget says, the way it is shot is so beautiful. For me, the world seems so real to me. They feel like they exist. It's good. Mandalorian is... I think I'm going to say it's probably the best Star Wars content. Empire Strikes Back is still pretty good, though. Rogue One is in the... If we were to take... We're not taking the animated stuff, because honestly, I saw 10 minutes of Clone Wars, the movie, and I fell asleep. I was like, ugh. And I never watched the animated series, Clone Wars series. And I heard that was like 10 times, a million times better than the movie. And I never went back and watched it. I never watched Rebels, because whatever. And then whatever the last one was that nobody watched, I didn't watch that either. So I'm looking at like Star Wars. I'm looking at Mandalorian. And I'm like, this is what Star Wars needs to be. So forget about Luke Skywalker's, Darth Vader's, even though they're dipping their toe into that stuff, but they're smart about it. And they're making it such that it's like, oh, okay, now I want to learn about this person. Maybe I got to go back and watch, the Clone Wars. Maybe. Even though I know how it kind of ends, right? I still maybe I got to watch that. Actually, we don't actually know how one character ends. Because it just says, Mando, and Rogue know how to use the updated look for Star Wars, but keep it Star Wars. Yeah, that's true. The look of the Mandalorian is what first kind of grabbed me. I was like, it looks super clean but muted. It's not super exaggerated. Like, you watch certain action movies, like Michael Bay movies, Transformers, high saturation, high contrast shots. That's what he do. He spray freaking olive oil and butter all over your face, and then he shoot you in like a rotational freaking shot. That's what he do. That's like, yo, we want the rotation shot here, and then you put the butter on his face, make him look all shiny. If you watch The Island, and homeboy's name, he was in Guardians of the Galaxy. I forgot his name because he has this crazy African name. It's only crazy because I can't remember what it is, and I'm crazy. Kaiju says, I love Rise of Skywalker and Last Jedi, but I hate how they don't shoot like the OG Star Wars with the film side effects. Films. I got what you're saying. The FX. The VFX. No, not VFX. The special effects. And I lost it. I lost whatever I was talking about. But okay, I totally lost it. It's Mando. It's Mando. And then it was I don't remember. Regardless. Irregardless. How Mando looks and feels, and how they're smart about kind of choosing the directors per episode. Like Dallas Bryce Howard did the one before this one. I actually don't know who. Oh, Dave Filoni directed the last episode that just came out, and then Dallas Bryce Howard did the one before that. And then I believe Jon Favreau did the first episode, I believe. And what was cool about the Dallas Bryce Howard one, which was the one where he meets the other Mandalorians, basically. He was looking for the Mandalorians because the Mandalorians could show him, Mando, Din Djarin, where to find a Jedi, because he needed to find a Jedi for Lil G. You know what I'm saying? Lil G was like, yo, the best car lady, the armorer, was like, yo, you need to find them wizards. You need to find the wizards to go to give, because the Force. So peace out, Mando. Go find the space wizards. They're called Jedi or something, whatever. They're just space wizard Jedis. Go get them. Go find them. They're probably over here, whatever. And he's like, this is the way. And he bounces, right? And then he goes and they do their. It's always like Mando's like, yo, I need some information. He's like, okay, but you got to do this for me, son. And then he's like, what I gotta do? It's like, what you want? What you need me for? And then they're like, okay, here's the plan. All right, I'm in. You know, and then they do the job, and then at the end, they're like, go to Zigazamik's core. There you find the Jedi's faces. Tell them I sent you. Peace out. This is the way. And so that's kind of like the formula, kind of, sort of. Only because he's looking for someone, quote unquote. And they introduced the character last episode. I won't spoil it, but they introduced the character who's looking for another character. And this other character is very much, well, the first character is a beloved character. The second character is a beloved character in a different way. And I'm like, I have no real knowledge of these characters because they're outside of the main. Because like I said, I didn't watch Rebels. I didn't watch whatever the last one was. And I didn't watch Clone Wars, the series. So it's like, oh, okay, now I think I need to watch the stuff, and it seems more interesting. So I want to see who's going to play this character. I want to see who's going to play this other character who might be in it, who I know of from one of the other shows. And I'm like, I think I like what they're doing because it's still connected within what they've done as far as like all of the canon that's still part of the main canon. But it still feels a little small. But it also is expanding past Skywalker, Solo, blah, 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 right? And at the same time, I'm actually playing Jedi Fallen Order because Game Pass has EA Play. I think this was called. They have EA Play, so I'm like, free is for me. Gonna play that. So I'm playing through that, and there's a little bit of stuff in there. And actually, you know what? Know what's cool about Fallen Jedi? Jedi Fallen Order, excuse me, is that it kind of opens up a couple of different scenarios. Like, so Cal Kestin, or whatever his name is, he's the young Padawan who escaped, blah, 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 Order 60, 69, 69, whatever it's called. And there was another Jedi who had a Padawan, and then she got captured, and then, spoiling a little bit of the game, and the Empire stole her Padawans and turned them into Inquisitors. I guess they're Sith Inquisitors or whatever they are. And I was like, I never thought of, like, you know, Empire turning Jedis or young Jedis into to work for them. I was like, okay, yeah, okay. And then like the whole implication of, oh, you used to be my Padawan, but now I'm all messed up because they broke me when they were interrogating me, and I gave you up, and there's like a whole kind of like, you know, it's soap opera-y, yeah, sure, but it's about the characters and relationships, and oh, you betrayed me, I hate you now, the dark side's better. Oh, but no, I can't. I turned away from the Force because I screwed you, and and this is all thing. And Cal's like, man, you suck because you turned yourself away from the Force. And then she's trying to explain, well, you got to explain, you got to understand, Cal. She don't talk like that. And it's just like, it's like, okay, I like this better than whatever The Last Jedi and the final Skywalker or all them stupid movies Force Awakens. I liked how they looked. I liked the Millennium Falcon flying in the screen. That's it, though. You cut out all them characters. I don't care about Finn. I don't care about Rey. I don't care about, well, Poe, he's all right. Hux and Poe, they can have their own movie. Not really, because Ryan Johnson ruined that, too. Jeez. Kaijudo says, Kaijudo says, on Disney Plus, you can watch the whole Star Wars today in timeline order. That's true. To date. I watched Rebels, but I need to set a time to give it the right attention. Yeah, I think I'm going to actually end up watching Rebels. And the Clone Wars, actually. I think I need to watch Clone Wars first. It's like three seasons. So many stuff to watch. I just want a offline Star Wars sandbox game already. Too many devs trying to write Star Wars stories. I just don't care. I just want to run around and make my own story. I mean, they kind of have that in the Galaxies, but yeah, I don't know if that's possible. Only because, I mean, I think it's okay. Anything's possible. It's possible, but if you think about how Disney handles their IP, Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, Lucasfilm, whatever, I don't think they will allow it. But I wish they would. I agree with you. That would be dope, right? To just have an open world have the actual whole Star Wars galaxy. Because as I understand it, the events of Star Wars only happen in one galaxy. I do not know what the name of the galaxy is. I've seen maps of it, and I don't quite remember it's a weird shape. That's all I know. Devs are tied and can't be done until they have the Star Wars tabletop game. You can't do whatever you want. That's true. Yeah, I mean, like games like the closest thing we're gonna have is like Starfield or Star Citizen, but that's not Star Wars, you know. And that's the thing about, like, say if they made an open world Star Wars game. The main problem is that they would want to have these famous characters like the Solos or the Skywalkers or Grand Moff Tarkin or whoever else. You know what I'm saying? Darth Vader or whatever. They want to have some time. The Hutts. They want to have some ties to the movies and all that stuff, right? And maybe they can do like a Knights of the Old Republic thing. Do it before that, even, you know, before the Knights of the Old Republic. So the original Knights of the Republic oldness, I don't know. That would work because it's all before. Nothing is, I mean, you could probably have a Skywalker, but it wouldn't be, no relation. Skywalker's like Smith. It's a common name. It's a common name here on Alderaan. You could say all that stuff because Alderaan gets blowed up in A New Hope, right? So it's like, yeah, my cousin's he's over there. He's Joel Skywalker. This is over there, and there's Bubba Skywalker over there. You know, that's my cousin. He lives out in the bogs with all the swamp rats. He's a little, you know, Bubba Skywalker. He's crazy. And there's Mimi Skywalker. Why they all got southern names? They're all farmers. That's why. But here on Alderaan, we have trees and water, so they farm mud. Look. On Tatooine, they have vapor moisturizer evaporators, whatever. They farm the moisture from the air. That's why it's so dry, because they sucked it all out. I mean, you know, they ruined that planet. It wasn't a desert when they got there, but they sucked all the water out. It's all desert now. It's like global drying. It's not even global warming. It's global drying. Imagine, like, you go to Tatooine. What's up, Bonds? You go to Tatooine, and it's like, there's like people protesting, global drying is real. That'd be funny. Hey, where are the protesters at, on these planets? I don't see no protesting. I don't see no people lining up to vote. I don't see no people wearing masks because some funky Jedi infections going around. Some rogue midichlorians infecting people. You know what I'm saying? Come on, son. That's a little too close, right? Too soon. Okay, yes, I'm speaking about Star Wars because, come on, you've seen it, haven't you, Bonds? You've seen Lil G. He was like, nah. And then what's her name? Like, I'm not gonna say her name because I don't want to spoil it. So no spoilers, Bonds. But she was like, I can't even say it. But it's cool. It's cool, and I didn't think that the actor who played the character was. I mean, I didn't have a problem with it. Like there was like rumors and stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, that might work. And I saw it, I was like, okay. One thing I would say that is a little bit distracting is that the fight choreography is because the actor that they did choose for the one particular character, I guess, isn't the best martial artist or whatever, and they kind of used her. I just spoiled the gender. And then her adversary was or is the daughter of the stunt coordinator for Bruce Lee. It's some weird like connection. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I don't know too much about all that, but that's kind of cool. So she's actually fighting somebody who could actually boom. So I was like, oh, okay. So that gave it some credibility. I learned it after the fact, but that gave it super credibility. It's like, oh, sure, she could do some work. Yo, her pops was like Bruce Lee's dude, or he was like I said, the stunt coordinator for one of them movies. One of them darn kung fu move back day. Anyway, Mandalorian season 2 is the best Star Wars. Is the best Star Wars stuff happening now. It makes me question my loyalty to the Millennium Falcon. I can't even say it. Millennium Falcon. It makes me question. I'm like, yo, Razor Crest is coming up. Razor Crest is about to pass the Millennium Falcon for like, yo, that's my ship, son. Even though I still like the design of Millennium Falcon, the fact it's a big ass bus of a truck of a spaceship and it's just so nimble, but it actually isn't. It's a lot of hype. Let's talk about the Millennium Falcon for a second. In Solo, Millennium Falcon originally owned by your boy Billy D. Wow, I just forgot his name. Lando Calrissian, and I had to search my old hard drives, the 5400s. Like, I guess it was impounded because he's not the best person. Whatever. And so yeah, this and that happens. They're getting sucked into a freaking black hole inside of the freaking Kessel Nebula, whatever. And I'm like, okay, you're tying all these loose strings up, okay. And then, this is how they actually get out. This is how the Millennium Falcon is the fastest ship in the galaxy, is because they put NOS in it and almost blew it up, basically. It landed on wherever they were going to sell their freaking gas. And it was a hot piece of garbage. It's like, that's how you messed up your nice ship. Okay, that makes sense. But you can't, like, fix it back a little bit? I mean, it was wrecked. I mean, let's not lie. Millennium Falcon was limping, literally, because the landing gear was broken. So it like landed like, whoosh. And so the only thing that makes Millennium Falcon special is the fact that the ship is merged with the droid. Whatever the droid's name was, I can't remember what the droid's name is. That's the only and that's a cool part of that history of the ship, is because it's tied to like the Empire Strikes Back, where CP3O was talking to the ship and he was like, your ship has some crazy ass dialogue, yo, what's up? Particular, peculiar dialogue. And it's like, yeah, she's full of surprises. And it's like, he knows because it used to be a droid that he met and stuff. So it's like, that part is interesting because it gives the ship an actual, I don't know, essence, aura, soul, personality. Although my question is, why they have droids that can talk, right? Yes. Why can't they have the ship talk? It would be corny. That's why. It would be like space 2000. Well, all those ripoffs of Star Wars back in the 70s. All of that's what it would be like. Like, oh, like when Kit started talking, Knight Rider. I was like, oh, I mean, that's kind of corny, but it's dope because it's Kit and he'd be telling jokes and he'd be cracking on Mike and stuff. So I'm like, you know what? Kit, he's all right. And then Car came like, I'm Car. I'm a buzz your ass. I'm a car. I'm Car. And then what was the truck? All right, back to Star Wars, away from Knight Rider. So the Millennium Falcon is cool. The Razor Crest is the new kid on the block. And in the Bryce Dallas Howard episode, go back to that one. It was cool because they were doing a heist basically. It was a heist, another heist, but they actually stole the whole ship instead of the cargo, which was the original plan. Spoilers, and which is not a real spoiler; it's barely a spoiler. But like how they designed this giant like Imperial freighter, it was like a giant heavy ship, and I was like, that was pretty good. Like, and the thing is like, the cool thing is that she did a homage to Ron Howard, her dad, because in Apollo 13, a movie that Ron Howard directed, there's a couple of shots when I guess it's when they re-enter from space after the missions failed. They did the loop-a-de-loop around the moon, came back, and she did shot for shot the re-entry sequence from Apollo 13, but with the Mandalorian with the Razor Crest, and each shot was flipped. So it was a mirror image of it, but it was like, I looked at it and I looked at they showed the side by side. I was like, okay, that's pretty dope right there. That's pretty fly. I mean, I could probably look it up. I never used the internets on this. So let's see if we can find that. So it is Mandalorian versus Apollo. I spell Apollo wrong. 13. Oops. Like father, like daughter. Oops. Wait. Yeah, my microphone. Sorry. Like father, like daughter. It's only 12 seconds? Huh? I'm pre-watching it so that if. Oh, okay, that was quick. Yeah, I can show that. No sound though. Where are we? There we go. So, yeah. So Ron Howard here, 1995. Apollo 13 is a pretty dope movie if you haven't seen it. It's a really good movie. And music done by James Horner, RIP. James Horner. He was top 10 music conductors on the planet. He was good. And Bryce Dallas, so let's play it real quick. Boop. So it's like boom. See, everything's reversed. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, starting to heat up. I heat up. Little drippy drops. Little smoky smacks. And that's it. I thought there was more than that, but I guess that was it. But yeah. So I was like, oh, okay. That's pretty dope. I didn't pick up on it when it first happened. When we were watching, I was like, oh yeah, they're crashing, and I was thinking like, wait, how come I did have a question. Like when I was watching, I was like, wait, how come they don't ever burn up when they are entering orbit? Usually, the other million times they enter a planet's orbit, right? They never show that part of entry into a planet's atmosphere, and I'm like, I don't get it. Like this is the first. I mean, she did it to homage her dad and stuff, but I was like, wait, okay, so how do they usually go into the planet, or do they put up a shield or something? They put up their deflector shield or something so that they can just maybe that's it. I don't know. There have to be a way. There has to be a way for them to explain it, and I just don't know because I'm dumb. Anyway, that was kind of cool, and I think that this second directing episode of Bryce Dallas Howard, I believe she only did one in the first season. This is the second episode she's directed, season 2, episode 2, I think. I think it's better than her first one. The first one was good, but this one, This one was pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty good. I just like it, man. I don't know. And they're still kind of tying into the Western motif. So it's like Western and samurai. So it's like the imagery, how they set up, like when Mando went to this one town, it was set up just like a Western / samurai movie. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And they even had like a shootout, and I was like, yo, not a shootout, but they had that in the first season. But it's so, yeah, the imagery is pretty dope. And even like the little details, like they had these I don't think he called them super droids. They were they were droids. They weren't battle droids. I mean, they were battle droids, but they weren't like the ones from like the prequel trilogy. But they were akin to whatever his name was in Knights of the Old Republic. So it was dope. I was like, oh, okay, they keep like kind of it's kind of like callbacks, and I attribute that to Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau because they are super nerds. You know, I think Dave Filoni is the new George Lucas. Let's be real. He's. I mean, Jon Favreau is, of course, too. And Jon Favreau directed, like I said, the first episode of the season 2, and that was where they freaking fight a crate dragon. And I was like, okay, all right. Now we get to see what it looks like instead of just a skeleton on the first movie, the New Hope. I was like, this is kind of dope. It's pretty dope. I was like, okay, you know what? This is a TV show. TV shows are way better now than what they used to be. And I'm glad that George Lucas didn't go ahead and like, because he had always said that he was waiting for the technology to catch up to what he wanted to do as far as quality in television, right? So he had this they did I guess it was a pilot, and it was like all green screen and stuff, and it looked pretty cool, but you can tell it was like it wasn't quite ready. You know, it looked like a TV show, but it was kind of dope, but it looked like a TV show. Like, oh, I saw it, I was like, nah, I wouldn't. I mean, I want to watch it out of curiosity, but I was like, nah, something's wrong. This, if you edit this down, if you edit out all the, I was gonna say edit out, so you can't really do that. This is movie quality. I mean, the dragon looked real good. I was like, yo, that's some good CG right there. And so you can tell they put more budget in it because like each episode is like, yo, there's like a giant set piece and it looks real good. They're throwing in some dollars. You know what I mean? I'm trying to say you had the dragon on the first episode. Second episode was Bryce Dallas Howard one. That was the ship, the freighter ship. It looked pretty dope. And then the third one, I'm not gonna spoil that, but it was like I was like, okay, Dave Filoni. I was like, at first I was like, is Dave really? Because I know he's from animation, but and then he did the sequence at the beginning of the episode, and I was like, okay, you know what? That's kind of dope. I can't even say because it's spoilers, super spoilers, but I was like, yeah, okay. And I like the fact that this show is from the perspective of Mando, from Din Djarin, and he's not like a special dude, or I mean, he's special in that he's a, you know, he's an adopted Mandalorian, or he's a Mandalorian. Let's not, you know, I'm not gonna say he's not a Mandalorian, but he is. He wasn't born a Mandalorian, let's just say that. You know, he was rescued by the Mandalorians, and they raised him as a youngling, or whatever they called him. And I was like, that's cool, you know, so he's like become one of them. And the fact that, I'll do a quick spoiler. The fact that there's kind of like a separation within the Mandalorians themselves, and I was like, this is okay. This is kind of changing a little stuff here. So now he ran into these other Mandalorians, and they were a little different, and it changes him a little bit. And it kind of started, and I was like, oh, okay. So it's kind of cool. Okay, just says 6 Star Wars is in good shape. Wait, what? Star Wars is in good shape now that JJ isn't making any more movies. The first movie was like fans got got too excited. They were making a Star Wars movie and they just went loony with it. Yeah. All the cameos made me sick. Yeah. I think Billy D. Williams didn't really need to be in Rise of Skywalker. Okay, I'll put it this way. I don't think Billy D. Williams needed to be in Rise of Skywalker in the way that they used him, which felt cheap and unceremonious. Like Billy D., right? He's Lando. He's smooth. Hey, princess. Hey, Colt 45. He should have been pimping somewhere. Just like, yo, I'm good. I went straight. I made all the money to get at Bespin. You know what I mean? I got my stocks and bonds and all that in order. I'm just chilling. Too old for this, man. Too. That's what they should have had him just be pimped out. And like, he don't need to be flying the Millennium Falcon anymore. He's too old for this. It did feel fan servicey, and I was like, nah. I didn't. I said it before. I said the best part of Rise of Skywalker was when Poe Dameron was skip jumping. I think it was called skip jumping the Millennium Falcon. And I was like, okay, see, this is new. This is something they haven't shown before. Usually, the Millennium Falcon is hot garbage. Hyperdrive never works. Did they call it hyperdrive? Whatever. There's always something wrong with the Millennium Falcon. That's the charm of her. And so, I was like, when Poe was just like, zip lip, oh, we're going to get. It's like, screw the coordinates, skipping it. Like, just skipping into the, like, cities and stuff. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. It's like, you ain't supposed to skip inside atmospheres. That's not how you're supposed to use warp speed. Oh, wow. What is it called in Star Wars? Okay, is warp speed on hyper speed? Light speed. It's light speed, right? Gets to jump to light speed. Yeah, light speed. Okay, thank you. He did need to be in Skywalker. He is canon. James Bond didn't need to be in Star Wars, and Benicio del Toro in The Last Jedi. Yeah, but James Bond, you didn't know it was James Bond unless someone told you it was James Bond. You know what I mean? Because his voice was kind of, had a filter on it because he had the mask on it and stuff. So it was, I didn't know it was him. Only reason I knew it was him because they were like, yeah, he's right there. That's what I'm like. I don't care. You should have not said nothing and left that as a super Easter egg forever and ever. But whatever. But it wasn't needed. But I'm saying like they used him. I don't think they used him effectively. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? And I think they edited the hell out of that movie. And I think that girl was supposed to be. I don't think she is Lando's daughter, but I think there's a connection between the black people. Let's just say that the black people in the movie, because there's only 3 of them. So it's Lando, Finn, and homegirl. I don't even know her name. And I think they're supposed to go on a little adventure together. Find Finn's parents. I don't know. Maybe Lando's his uncle. I don't know. Uncle Lando. Hey there, young fella. How are you doing? Hey, princess. Stormtroopers are all the same size looking. Yeah, I mean, they're not all the same size, but yeah, it's true. They do. I mean, it's really just Luke was short for a stormtrooper, so that gave it away. I love the racist theory that Finn was Mace's son. Yeah, that makes no sense because Finn doesn't have any force. He ain't got no midichlorians. He's midichlorian deficient. I mean, Poe is the closest thing that's like a half. I was going to say a half-breed. That doesn't make any sense. He just grew up with a damn midichlorian tree in his backyard, so some of that sap rubbed off on him. He breathed in some of the midichlorian pollen when he was a kid. And so, who put that? Didn't Leia put that tree in his parents' backyard or something? And then Poe was like, hey, I'm climbing the tree. He's like, go ahead, climb that tree, baby. Just don't fall out and break something. Because our insurance ain't covered in Best. Where was Poe from? I don't even remember. I was gonna say Bespin, but they don't even live on the land. Like, what does the actual planet of Bespin look like? I know they have it. Is it a gas giant or is it they just don't show the land? They're just in the sky. Like, why are you in the? Isn't there land you could just? Yeah, we got the mine operation of the what are they mining at Bespin? Is it clouds or something? I don't know. See, I don't know that much. I know very little. That's a shame. There'd be a super Star Wars. Well, the Bespin Authority of Lando's. I don't care. Don't care. I checked out when George Lucas and the Phantom Menace started talking about politics and trade routes, and I was like, ah. But now I realize they tied that back into the first episode of Mando Season 2 with the trade routes. Because there was a protocol droid, there was CP3O basically, was a protocol droid, same model. And she was there teaching the kids, and she was talking about the trade routes, and she was talking about Kessel, and I was like, okay. It's like it's little details, and it wasn't even, it was like in the background, because it was like background from like the main characters were talking about stuff, and the droid was teaching in the background, and that was part of the background dialogue. That wasn't really, it was audible, but it wasn't really the main focus. So it was pretty funny. There's another theory that Mace Windu's still alive, because basically he got his hand cut off, right? Anakin cut off his hand, and then just, I think, Force pushed him out the window. So he's a Jedi, right? He's a Jedi master, right? He survived. As far as I know, as far as I'm concerned, Mace Windu is alive. Okay, well, he'd be really old at that point, because that is at the end of whatchamacallit. Which was how many years before Rogue One? I'm trying to think. So let's do a Star Wars timeline real quick. Real quick. I'll do it on this one. So it's Star Wars. It's a Star Wars timeline. Star Wars timeline. Yeah. Oh boy. I don't want it like. Okay, wait. I need a Star Wars timeline from. What am I looking at? Oh yeah, it should be. I just don't want them in chronological order. I want to. By years. How about that? Years. In canon. Oh boy. Oh boy. Let me see. I can't even read that. I don't want it by the years of the actual when they were released. I want them in universe canon. Oh wait, is that it? Yes, 53 BSI. What is BSI? If he's alive, he looks like an old white guy, cause that for light night f's up your face and drains your melanin. The what? Use the whatchamacallit the night. All right, so what the F? Disney has changed the Star Wars timeline. Wait, what? Rebels, Rogue. Wait, what? Phantom. Huh? Okay. Force Away. Okay, I'm losing my brain right now. Okay, so I need to find. Let me see here. No. Let me see that. Okay, that's not. Oh, I think this is it though. Wait, is that right? Canon. I don't want the books. Come on, make it bigger. I don't want to go to Reddit. Okay, I want to go to Reddit. I guess I'll go. Here it is. Jesus. You sons of bitches. I can't read. This is so small. Can I open it in a new tab? Thank you. Come on, baby. Can we zoom in? Jeez. Okay. Never mind. 800 by 400. What kind of nonsense is that? All right. We're going to find it, man. We're going to find it. Because this, I saw this. Death Star, the Occupy Ilum. Yep. Zero. Before BSI. So that's Star Killer Weapon Development Process. Death Star program begins. Occupy. Death Star devastates Jeddah. Okay. That was the. Right. Second Death Star is destroyed by. So that was only 4 years? Wait. From A New Hope to Return of the Jedi, that's only 4 years. That's not right. I mean, whatever. Anyway. Starkiller weapon. Right, so after and then 30 years. Okay, that makes sense. Zero resistance spies find clues in Sector Epsilon. And just Starkiller. Okay, I don't. Can I? So my thing is, I want it. Oh, they're complaining about how they changed the whatever. I don't even know. I wanted to find out how old whatchamacallit would be. So can we do it by this? No, yes we can. Because if it's 53 BSI, which I have no idea what BSI is, then before that it's when Mace Windu got thrown out the window, right? So let's say it's excuse me. So excavation. Galen Erso joins the story. Okay, so 50. So at the end of Revenge of the Sith, that's when the twins were born. That's when Luke and Leia were born, right? And then it was 16 years. Let's say 16 years after Revenge of the Sith, which is right 34, right? So 34 minus 16 or 34 plus 16 is basically is 60. Is that 60? No, it's 50. Huh. And that's 53. So that's before. So that's about the 53 BSI is about the time when Mace got his face maced, when he went out the window. So basically this is kind of the okay. Just doing rough math. So if Mace, how old was Mace Windu? And was he just a human, or like that's the thing? Like we don't know what race Mace was. Well, okay, let's look it up. I mean, we got the internet here. What race was or is Mace Windu? Did I spell that right? Yeah. If they say African American, I'm gonna throw this computer out of the window. Male Koran okay, let's go here. Wikipedia. Wicca. Okay. So Mace Windu, homeworld of Kuran Kal, born 72 BB. I should have came here first. Born 72 BBY before Battle of Yavin. That's what that means. Gosh. Died 19 before the battle. 19 BBY. I don't think he died. He's human, but he's from Koran. Male, 1.92 meters, which is 5. So like 5'10", something like that. Hair color black, shaved bald. He ain't had no black hair. Clans: Gosh Windu, Jedi Order, Jedi High Council, Old Guard, Galactic Republic, Master Yoda, and Tirasa. Who is that? Oh, Padawans or apprentices. Excuse me. Oh no, apprentices. Wait, are these all his apprentices, or is it start here? What the? I don't. Okay, whatever. Unidentified failed Padawan, Druid, Jet, Informal. I guess these are all his apprentices. So who's Tertra? We get deep. Usually, I would be into this, but they left me alone with all the leftover. It's all good. Eat to your heart's content. Let's see. She was a female Neti Jedi Master who served the Jedi Order during the final centuries of the Galactic Republic. I don't care anymore. See how quickly I don't care? Grogu! Let's go to Grogu. See what's happening with Grogu. Come on, Grogu. Let's go. We just take it so long. Do-doom, 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 do-doom. What's that? Yeah, Grogu was crazy. You see, I was watching Adam Savage, and he was modifying Grogu, and he cut his arms and made him like posable and stuff. I was like, okay, it's pretty interesting. He was born in 41 BBY, and was raised in the Jedi Temple. Wait, okay, if he was born 41, and he's 50, that means the year is, at the time of the Mandalorian, he's 50 in the Mandalorian, which is wow, my brain stopped working. It's 9. The year is 9 in the Mandalorian. So is that after, well, before Yavin, and then Yavin happens, which is wait, my brain is not working. The Battle of Endor. Endor is the planet. We never went to Endor. We only went to the forest moon of Endor. Battle of Yavin happened in A New Hope. That's right. Okay. Right? Yeah, I think. Whatever. I'm leaving my brains. So I'm not in this because I'm going to cherry pick what I want. Huh? So I am not in this because I'm okay. But yeah, Din Djarin. I don't think they don't have too many informations about Din Djarin too much. Born prior to 19 BY. I would assume that yeah, he's Mudhorn because of the freaking Mudhorn thing. He didn't even beat it. I mean, Lil G was like, yep, and he was like, he was about to get got. Mando was about to be no more. Then Lil G came and saved his booty. Anyway, just done. We're done with the Mandos. We're done with it. If you haven't watched it, Kajudo, watch The Mandalorian. Oh my gosh, it's so good. If you like Star Wars and you've lost faith in Star Wars, The Mandalorian will give you some faith back. Put it that way. And like me, I'm like, usually like the movie. This is way better than movies. And the thing is like, they're so good that I haven't rewatched them. I'm just like, I might go back when it's all said and done, go back and rewatch them. But right now, I didn't go rewatch the first series, the first season. I haven't rewatched any of these because they feel so. It's just good. Carla is looking there. Who? Huh? What? Oh, you talking about what's her name? I've watched season 2, episode 1, 2, 3 on The Mandalorian. Yeah, she is. She was eating some chicken wings or something. I was like, Gina. Gina Carano. Yeah. I was like, yeah. We're watching the first 4 tonight. Good. What's today? Sunday. Yeah, watch them and enjoy them. And like I said, that fight choreography was kind of but it's really starting to realize it's about the characters, and which is good, and it looks good too. It kind of makes me feel good when I watch it. I'm like, oh, that feels like it looks good. It feels like it looks good because it does, and it feels good. Yeah, Darth Vader. What was his name? I saw that all day today. Yeah, he passed away. I thought it was yesterday, I think. But yeah. I saw a young picture of him. He was like, he was like Arnold Schwarzenegger size back in the day. He was a bodybuilder. I was like, damn, man, he was super big. So yeah, RIP, Darth Vader actor, Richard. Was it Richard? Yeah. Bond says season 2, episode 3 is directed by Bryce Dallas Howard. She did a good job. Yes, like I said, she did a better job than the first episode that she directed. I think she's going to be a real good director, like her daddy. I think she has the technical. Yeah. It's good. It's good. And yeah, I mean, I think the only thing that they can do to ruin that show, I mean, not to get on the negative, but only thing they can do is to kind of go too much into the fan service type of like, oh, with like Kajiro, like you said, the cameo thing. I gotta look his name up now. I totally forgot his name. Is Prowse, right? Something Dave Prowse. David Prowse. There you go. He's 85. I hope I live to be 85. That'd be cool. I hope I live to be 125. That'd be better. Would I get chips in my brain if they said, hey, if Elon Musk was like, yo. And I'm like, yeah, I'd do that. I'd be RoboCop. I'd do that. I mean, as long as they give me enough, like, if it's painful, like, yo, give me the drugs so it's not too painful. Hook me up with all the stuff you need to. I'll be a robot experiment. Sure. Kaju says he tells a funny story about how he was told to speak all the Vader lines. He told his friend she was in the movie. When they got to see it, they heard James L. Jones's voice, and she said she was not in the movie. LOL. He says, yeah, breaking the fourth wall with the bad stormtrooper shouting in the first season was pushing it. It worked, but they need to be careful of the fan service stuff. Wait, what was the stormtrooper shouting in the first season? What was that one? I don't remember that. Oh, the actor who played. Yeah. Kajito says, and just because a famous person loves Star Wars, don't put them in it. Be cool like George Lucas did with Sam? Well, I know what's his name was in it. Wow, I totally forgot his name, but he was in Force Awakens. He was the bad shooting. The bad shooting. When they hit Baby Yoda when he was in the bag, Sam Jackson. Okay, yeah. But Sam Jackson was just like, I mean, you saw his face, so it's like, oh, okay. I mean, they didn't brag about it, but yeah, I agree. I mean, George Lucas ain't like that though. He's just like, I'm trying to tell a story, and yeah, you want to be in it? And Sam's like, hell yeah, I want to be in that. That was bad. And Joe's like, good. They did with Johnny Knoxville, or am I wrong? The child fouling. Huh? Johnny Knoxville. I don't know what that means, Bonds. With the hold on, let me go back. The actor who played I don't know what's going on. But the story was Sam was a fan and begged George to be in. So yeah. Regardless, he was still Mace Windu was cool. I didn't have a problem with Mace Windu. He was like one of the things, like if you look at the prequel trilogy, and you look at all the characters, Mace Windu was one of the characters that was not offensive, but Jake Lloyd was offensive. Young and Lil Annie, no. Jar Jar Binks, offensive. Although it was a children's character, and all the kids at the time loved Jar Jar Binks, still nah. Because the thing about George, I think, I don't hate him as much as I used to, because I was dumb back in the day, but now I'm like, okay, whatever. But he needs to cater to, I understand he's making a children's cereal, as he calls it. But the children that you originally made it for have grown up and had their own children. So, the smart thing and the more impressive thing would be to accommodate both audiences. The child that you first got in the 70s and their children now. If you can figure out how to get both of them, I mean really get them, then it's all good. I think that's what The Mandalorian's doing. The Mandalorian is doing that exact thing. You got Lil G being cute, is getting everybody because the little G is just he's a little G. He's the cutest thing on TV right now. And then the kids will be like, he's cute. I like little G. And then and then the relationship between Mando and little G, it's like a father figure. He's like his little kid now and stuff. It's like it's cool. So I mean, ultimately, I'm like by the end, I think Mando's gotta die. He's gotta die. He gotta die, and then little G. Or you know what? He's going to die, but he'll be like an old man who dies of natural causes. Out of all the stuff he's gone throughout the galaxy, done the bounty hunting and all this stuff, scooping up, he could bring you in hot or I could bring you in cold. Saying that line, that's my line, After all of that, he's just sitting on his, I don't know, Beskar farm, his Beskar mining operation. He's just like a rich man or whatever, and he's just sitting there like, I'm too old. And then Lil G, who's not little no more, because by the time Mando, I guess Lil G will be around 100 years old, which would make him, what? In human, maybe 5 or something? I don't even actually know what the correlation is, as far as human. Like right now he's like a toddler baby who doesn't really talk in words, but he can communicate and he understands. So he's been alive for 50. That's the thing that I don't get, right? So if Yoda's species lived 900 years or whatever it is, right, and little G is 50, that would make him whatever, a toddler. But so it's like 10 times, right? So 10 divided by 10 is 1, but he's more like 2. So wait, so he's 2 in human years, which would make him I forgot. I just lost the math path. I was doing the math path equation in my head and just left. Bond says the ep when the child was in the bag and he got smacked about. I'm trying to remember. Oh, the 2 stormtroopers. It wasn't Johnny Knoxville. It was Jason Sudeikis and was it Johnny Knoxville? I know Jason Sudeikis was one of them. I don't know who the other one was though. That was like, it was cute. I think like that was the line. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, here's the line. Y'all went right up to the line, but you didn't cross it. So it's like, all right, that's good. That's now you know where the line is. Don't cross that line. Boom. Although, I mean, Lil G eating all them eggs in the second episode, that was kind of messed up. I mean, it wasn't messed up because people don't realize this, right? In the second episode where he's eating all the fish lady's egg, the amphibian lady's eggs, they weren't fertilized eggs. It's just like eating a chicken's eggs. They weren't she was taking her batch of eggs to her husband on whatever world it was so he could fertilize them because they're fish people and he does it outside the body, basically. So when he's eating them, he's not eating live children babies. He's eating just unfertilized eggs. So that's why it wasn't a bad thing. That's like I saw all the people getting all upset on Twitter. Oh, how little baby, little G gonna eat thing? I'm like, man, shut up. Y'all so stupid. Y'all want to cry about everything. Oh, you gonna cry next time you have an omelet? Shut the hell up. I'm gonna go inside after the show. I'm gonna have me some eggs, and I'm like, num 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 num. I'm gonna put them in a burrito. Zip zip zip. Put some ketchup on it. Sounds tasty. Yeah, she was like a frog lady person. Speaking of, says Bonds, was with a few friends before the lockdown, and they themselves did say that they were glad for how they're handling the show. Eating the frog eggs. Yeah, that show, I was like watching it, right? Like watching the first season. I wasn't offended, right? So I was watching, I was like, okay, yeah, all right. So it's like, okay, I want to see what the next one is. You know, I want to see where it goes. And the fact that I'm not like a super deep into the lore of Star Wars as far as Rebels and Clone Wars and all that stuff. So I'm a little detached from it, but I have tertiary. I have very vague knowledge of, the characters that they're introducing. But someone who's a super nerd be like, oh, and either they got it right or they didn't, or I can't really because I haven't watched it that much. But it's like, all right, that's cool. Bond says it was funny to me the child was being disobedient. Yeah, he was like, stop eating the eggs, stop it. I was waiting at the end. He was gonna eat the little baby. I was like, don't do it. But he was like, it's a baby. I can't eat the eggs no more, right? No, stop it. Yeah, he had one in the. He was hiding one though for later. He's like, snack. I was like, oh man. And then when he had the soup, and the soup attacked him. That was pretty good. Yeah, there's some there's little cute parts in the show that aren't like the quote unquote money shot, but they aren't there hasn't been, I don't think, anything in the show yet that has been, oh man, they ruined it, it's over, it sucks now, blah, right? They haven't done that yet. And I attribute that to Dave Filoni, who's superstar. He is George Lucas reincarnate. If anyone were to take the mantle of George Lucas as far as the Star Wars universe going forward, Dave Filoni is the man. He is the man. He should be, I was going to say he should be running Lucasfilm, but honestly, I want him to make the Star Wars stuff. I don't want him to be in an office, doing, producing this stuff. I want him to make it, write it, do that. Because when he does, him and Jon Favreau, and actually, I'm going to say all of the directors from the first season need to come back and do their thing, because I'm trying to think, I'm like, what was the worst episode? And I cannot tell you what the worst episode from season 1, can't tell you. From this season so far. Okay, so first episode was Dragon. Second episode was Fish Lady. Third episode was Fish Lady Continued, right? And then fourth episode was this last one. The worst one. They're different, but they're equally good because they're different from each other. Like the first one is like, he goes to this dusty old western town who's being terrorized by a crate dragon, and he teams up with, spoilers, Timothy Oliphant. And I'm like, okay, all right, okay. And then other stuff is in it too, which is like a nod, but it's like, and yes, it's connected, and yes, it's callbacks to previous movies and shows, but it isn't like so just like put in there just to be put in there. And it is connected to Mando, which is he is the show. So if it doesn't have anything to do with Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, then putting it in the show doesn't make sense. But so far, everything that they've put in, whether it's objects, characters, that exist in the universe, so far they've managed a way to put them in the show where it does relate to Mando, and it makes sense, and it's not offensive. So it's I got no complaints. And actually, I want to say that I think I'm looking forward to it more. I think I have more not more hope, but just a more renewed sense of optimism. No, well, yeah, because other things, but the one that Dallas Bryce Howard directed, that, like I said, that freighter, and how they used that ship in the climax of the scene and stuff, I was like, okay, all right, this is a little different from, like, I guess traditional, because honestly, this show is not traditional Star Wars, because what George Lucas made, the movies that he made, what they were exactly what he said they were. They were sci-fi serials. They were Flash Gordon, but his own names and stuff, right? So it was a kid's serial type of TV show type of thing, but in movie form, right? This show is not really that. This show is different in that it's like, oh, there is no hero in white and bad guy in black, even though the bad guys are still primarily in black. But the nuance between the characters good and bad are such that it gives the show, I guess, more interesting characters and interesting directions that it could possibly go. Looking at Mando as a character, how he can evolve into whatever. You know, he's a Mandalorian. He's a bounty hunter. He's looking for that Beskar son. That's his you know what I mean? So he's got his own kind of morals. He has his own hang-ups, which he's already growing as a character because of I totally forgot the droid's name that Taika Waititi voiced. And was that the last episode? I don't remember if that was the last episode of the first season, but the fact that droid was the only entity in the show, as we know, that has seen his face, and he was hesitant. He was like, "I'm a droid. I'm not a real person, so I can see your face, and let me give you the healing spray, the Bantha spray, or whatever they call it." And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And so he got the shows. Well, maybe the thing is they'll only show his face once a season or something. They showed kind of half of his, not half, like they showed like his chin and like his bottom lip in one of these episodes. So spoiler on that, but it wasn't a big deal. But it was important how they did it and what they did with that scene. So I was like, there's all these little things that are like, oh, okay, and it's like little oh, here's a little detail, boop boop boop. They had speeder bikes in the first episode. The intro to Death Watch and Bo-Katan was good. The Medi droid, yeah, that was a spoiler. Sorry, but yeah, Bo-Katan was cool. I mean, I think that was already knowledge. They said that she was gonna voice she was the voice of the animated character, and so she was the actual. That was kind of cool. I was like, oh, okay, that made sense. Yeah, it was, yeah. I think the more that they expand within certain mysteries that existed previous to the Mandalorian, like Yoda's species. You know, the fact that it took them over a season of television to find to introduce his name is testament to how well you can write something, and a character, an important character, a super important character has not been named. They called him the child. Mando was calling him kid. And then started calling him by his name. I don't know how long that's going to last, but it was funny. I was like, okay, that's pretty. I mean, it wasn't funny, but it was good. Okay, I see more. Amy Sedaris, Strangers with Candy will always be a weird show. Yeah, she was in the first one, I believe, the first episode of the first season. Yeah, she's in it. She I think she watches him again, right? She was babysitting little G again. And I think did they fix his ship again, or no? I don't think the Razor Crest got messed up. It was in the second episode, I think it was. The Razor, yeah, when he was yes. Oh, wait a second. Was that the first episode or the second episode? No, the first episode, Dragon, then he got back, and then yeah, and then at the end of the first episode. The thing I like about The Mandalorian, again, or also, is that they're kind of doing like a creature of the week or a bad guy of the week, kind of, sort of, plus the long narrative throughout the through line throughout all of the episodes. But it doesn't seem like they're two separate things, even though they kind of are, because it's like, okay, I need to get this kid to a Jedi. And where I gotta go here, right? So in between, while he's going here and there, he's like, hey, I need your help. Okay, boom. So, I mean, it's basic formula, I guess, for television, but it doesn't feel. I mean, if you break it down, it is, formulaic, but it doesn't. If it for me, for some reason, it just feels like it flows. It just kind of flows. It makes sense, and it doesn't feel like, oh, this is freaking, pedestrian, or this is dumb. They're just doing this. And I don't feel that there has been any filler episodes yet, or filler content at all. I don't think. I think everything's been pretty deliberate and pretty well paced. It is a TV show, so they have time to, let the characters breathe, let the scenes breathe, have some quiet moments. And I think that's why this works way better for TV. Like, if they say, oh, we're doing a Mandalorian movie, I'm like, nope. I mean, it'd be dope, but I'm like, no, that's not a good thing to do. Because they could be like, okay, how much do they spend per episode? Like, oh, that's a good question. How much do they spend per episode on Mandalorian? How much per episode? Mandalorian. Did I spell it right? Did. The Mandalorian boasts a similar budget, reportedly costing $15 million per episode. Yeah. What does it say? It says the Mandalorian. What was the? The Mandalorian is the first TV show that actually looks like a movie. That might be a problem. It does look like a movie, and that's the cool thing about it. But it's not a movie. So $15 million an episode. I wanna see. This is old, so I wanna see. When did these are all Disney Plus series, The Mandalorian budget. Nope, that's last year too. It's $100 million for the show. Altogether, the 8 episodes of The Mandalorian. I think this is no, that's not right. So $100 million for the first season. They probably doubled the budget, I would assume, right? Here we go. Season 2 budget. Budget season 2. The Mandalorian season 2 details reveal larger story and something. I don't know. Let's see. Alright, I can change this here. Boop. So you can see too. Mandalorian season 2, blah blah blah. Story. And that's true. They shot it. Oh, they shot it before COVID hit real good. Oh, they're lucky. Although they could just do a bubble. That's what a lot of people are doing. Is they're doing a bubble thing where it's like, okay, if you're part of production, you better say bye to your family or you bring them with you. But you can't see. Everybody's tested. We do the quarantine. Everybody's clean. You can't see nobody outside this bubble. Sorry. That's it. And it works when people follow the rules, but when people are like, oh, I went out last night, and it was a quick little party, I just saw a couple of people, and they get everybody sick. Like, stupid. What are you doing? Come on, son. All you got to do is follow. You had one job. All right. Larger scale season 2 is attributed to the budget allocated to the series by Disney, since the funds that previously went to startup costs were this time utilized for what actually ended up on screen. Adding to the notion, Filoni, also a visionary behind the animated series, further teased that everything gets bigger, the stakes get bigger, but also the personal story between the child and the Mandalorian, Luigi, develops in a way I think people will enjoy. Yeah, pretty much. So far, that is the case. The larger story that Favreau describes seems to suggest that The Mandalorian will broaden its narrative focus after an inaugural season mostly focused on the stoic gunslinging exploits of star Pedro Pascal's eponymous. I can't read that word. What? I gotta see how that's. Eponymous. Say it. I can't hear it. Hold on a second. Say it. Eponymous. Fan service, aka The Walking Dead. High production value, says Bonds. Yeah, man, they nailed what George Lucas was talking about back in the day. Force child, babysitting bounty hunter, otherwise known as Din Djarin. In fact, it appears that other characters, both established and new, are set to take center stage in some season 2 episodes. Indeed, using a certain popular quasi-medieval HBO series as an example, Favreau wants to explore in depth the arcs of the characters and their relationship in the wider Star Wars cinematic continuity, stating, as we introduce other characters, there are opportunities to follow different storylines. The world was really captivated by Game of Thrones and how that evolved as the characters follow different storylines. That's very appealing to me as an audience member. Plot-wise, The Mandalorian Season 2 will further focus on the machinations of Moff Gideon, Giancarlo Esposito, who, wielding remnant forces of the Empire and the legendary Darksaber, has filled a rather sizable power vacuum in the galaxy during its setting in the early post-Imperial years after Return of the Jedi. Indeed, as we learned in Season 1 and its climactic battle, said machinations very much involved the still mysterious nature of Lil G and his force powers, resulting in an ongoing search for the 50-year-old infant in Season 2 that will become dramatically intensified. Consequently, Djarin's voluntary endeavor to keep Lil G safe will become increasingly dangerous, possibly leading him to a personal impasse about his own motivations, as Pascal explains of his character's Season 2 arc. We start very directly after the first season, and he's going into very dangerous territory. He is very much a passenger to the experience in unexpected ways, not knowing what to come, not knowing how much or how best to protect the child. Lil G, we don't know how far he will go to do that, and they're finding new ways to push the envelope, he adds. On moment-to-moment basis, he's discovering that question, what do you want? That isn't clear to him, or to me, at which point Filoni provocatively chimes in, adding, we think we know how the characters are going to react, and it can be surprising how they do react. What? I don't know why I did it that way. That's how Dave Filoni sounds to me. Compounding this ambiguity, Esposito himself teased that Moff Gideon's upcoming clashes with the Mandalorian will bear a seductive aspect with regard to the latter's increasing ambivalence. Thusly, while the epic clash between the two in Season 1's finale, clearly delineated a good/evil dynamic, the actor also hints that we'll soon see different aspects of Gideon, whose motivations might not be as malevolent as they appear, as Esposito states of reprising the role for which he earned an Outstanding Guest Actor in the Drama Series Emmy nomination. Wow, I didn't know he did that. I'll be going toe-to-toe with Mando. It's an iconic battle. I want to disarm him mentally as well. Who knows? Maybe there's an opportunity to get him to fight some battles for me. You may think I'm a villain, but I'm trying to harness some energy and some powers for a path that could be best for all. You'll get to see him be somewhat diplomatic and more of a manipulator. I don't know if I want to read any more of this. Well, I'm basically at the end. Okay, I'm not gonna read anymore. I think there's a little bit of spoily spoils in there, so we're not gonna read anymore. But that was an interesting little read. I mean, like I said, the more I think about it, like I always say that a good movie/game has a real good bad guy, right? If you think about, Star Wars in general, Darth Vader was good. Well, Giancarlo Esposito, he's good. Excuse me. I'm trying to think. I think the problem with Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker is that the bad guy was the old bad guy, and the how do I say this? The surrogate bad guys before the ultimate bad guy. No, I mean Snoke was cool, but then he just got, and I was like, this is so dumb. Ben Solo, Darth. What the hell was his name? What was his evil name? It was Wow, I just totally forgot. Anyway, it doesn't matter. He was garbage too. He wasn't compelling because he didn't seem. First of all, he wasn't a Sith all the way, ever, because it's all in the eyes, man. Gotta look at the eyes. When Anakin turned Sith, you saw his eyes change. That was it. That's when you knew. That's when you knew. So, I don't know if that's Star Wars canon or I don't know what that is, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We're gonna talk about video games. I can talk about the Jedi Fallen Order. Remember when? I forgot who it was. Was it EA who said it or somebody said it? Maybe it was Lucasfilm or Lucas Games, LucasArts. They said they were making a Star Wars type of Uncharted game. Star Wars Uncharted. It's kind of what Jedi Fallen Order. It's that plus Dark Souls. That's what Jedi Fallen Order is. And I'm like, I don't know how to feel about this. It's like, do I like it? I like BD. BD7 was his little robot dude, his little droid. I like him. That's the best. I think he's the best droid from all of the. As far as like the main like R2 and then BB8 and then what was that hairdryer one in the last? Rise of Skywalker. I don't even remember that one. Dildo or something? Dildo? What's his name? I don't remember. J.J. Abrams did the voice. Doesn't matter. But I think BD is better than BD1. I think it's BD1. BD1's the best droid so far because he has has an emotional face, kind of sorta, but not really. He's got like two little eyes, but not really. And he's got a little bit of character. He's got a little personality. He's like, oh, my foot works better. Yay, boop 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 boop. It's dope. I was like, okay. I don't like on Dathomir. I don't like those. They're all like Darth Maul. I forgot what the I never knew the race of the Darth Maulians. That's a whole bunch of them I'm slaying. They're all like the same one voice actor did everybody's voice. On the same. They're all the same. I don't like that world. I mean, because it's all red and black and it's all yucky looking. It's not pretty. Although Kashyyyk should be prettier than it is. Those snails with the ram horns, I don't like those either. Ugh. There's some stuff. I finally got the breathing thing so I can swim in the water. I got that last time. Last night I was playing, yeah. I was playing and I looked at my watch. It said 2:41. I was like, oh snap, it's late. I was playing this for hours, getting deep into the Star Warses. But it's good. It's you know what? Okay, so Jedi Fallen Order happens after Order 6969, right? And I was gonna say the Mandalorian happens after Return of the Jedi, but what I've learned is that but then Cal would be he would be like 30 years old, not 30 years older. He would be like 20 years older than he is in the game. They can age him up, right? Yeah, they can age him up, the actor itself. So if Cal is in the Mandalorian, but why? Why would he be in the Mandalorian? Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm like, who do you want to be in the Mandalorian? Does that character need to be in the Mandalorian? Is the question you need to ask yourself. Does Cal Kestin, whatever his name, does he need to be in the Mandalorian? I say, nah. I say, no. No, he doesn't need to be in it. But he is. I say the main thing that is wrong with the Jedi Fallen Order, the game, is the run animation is horrible. It's really bad. When he's like leaning, I'm like, yo, he's not a motorcycle, son. You don't run like that. You don't run like leaning like that. They did it wrong. They definitely did it wrong. So that's the one thing I would say about that game. That's the one thing that knocks it back from it being like a super dope quadruple Uncharted Star Wars game is that like the animation not animation priorities, but the animation blending, quality of the animation, and just make it look for real good, not for real, but good. That's where it falls short. Everything else is pretty good. I mean, there's some like texture stuff and everything, but I think that's due to how big the worlds are. They're big. Another thing, which I don't think people realize. Well, first, it's an Unreal Engine game. Unreal Engine 4, I believe. And remember, all the ponies were like, oh my gosh, Unreal Engine 5, look at it, so pretty on the PlayStation 5, yeah, right? I was like, okay. And then they show like homegirl walking through like the little squeezy tight part. That's in this game so much. And it looks good in this game too. And I'm looking at this. I'm looking at Cal squeeze through the part with little BD on the shoulder. And then I remember back to, whatever in the land of the Lumites or whatever it's called. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that's barely, I mean, it looks good. I'm not saying it doesn't, but it's like, it's not a big giant leap. And people have amnesia and people don't realize, like, look, this stuff already exists. This stuff already looks good. So all the hooting and hollering for that is like, that's not even needed. They're like, oh, we just wanted to show the detail, when she's like, yeah, you did it already in the game. It's called Jedi Fallen Order. I don't know, man. It's good. I like the ship too. I forgot what the ship's called. It's like a lot of interesting designs, which I'm sure they had to get clearance from Lucas, but still it's good. And the first time I saw one of the Empire R2s, the black R2, I sliced that fool in half. I said, slice! It's like, nope, you ain't going to tell nobody I'm here. I mean, they were like right down there, so they saw me anyway, but I was like, slice, you're not hitting the alarm, fool. But that was kind of cool. Yeah. But yeah, I'm still playing through that every once in a while. I'll just jump in. Oh! I play that. I'm playing that more than Grounded, because Grounded is still in early access, and the saving, I think I have to go through all my saves and delete a whole bunch of them, because I think I just have too many saves. Because how the autosave works is that there's only, I think, 5 slots for autosave, but I ended up just making all these extra saves, so I have like hundreds of saves, so I have to go back and delete a lot of them because it takes forever for it to sync up with the cloud save stuff. So I have to go back. I've been doing it like 10 at a time or whatever, but yeah, it's kind of cool. Like if I would have saved my first save, like I can go back to the beginning and when I did this and that, but I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. So, but anyway, I think I'm out of gas. Video games. Well, we talk about Jedi Fallen Order, console war stuff. Let's see. They put out a patch for Assassin's Creed for the Xbox Series. I think it's for both consoles, which made them, I think, exactly the same, and which the Xbox has a little bit of a performance advantage on it now, because since the patch, it performs a little bit better than the PS5 version now. But the narrative still is that, PlayStation 5 multiplats are better than Xbox. But it's like they just did a patch and it's better now. It's equal to, or it's greater than or equal to the PlayStation 5 version. So I'm like, what are you talking about? And the thing that I had read recently is that for backwards compatibility stuff, right? The PlayStation 5 has 3 different BC modes, basically. So they have the PlayStation 4 ghetto version, backwards compatibility mode. They have PlayStation 4 Pro backwards compatibility mode, and then they have PlayStation 5, which is not backwards compatibility, it's just PlayStation 5. And so if you're playing a game, that is the PlayStation. It does. I guess PlayStation 4 Pro. If there's a PlayStation 4 Pro version of a game from the PlayStation 4, then I guess it would just automatically default to that. That's what makes sense to me. But there's been all kind of issues with PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 versions of the same game being downloaded, and so crazy over there. But so it splits it into 3 different kind of type of consoles depending on what you're playing. So I'm like, okay. I mean, I guess that works. Sure. I mean, as long as it works, right? What the Xbox is doing is different. It's not doing a Xbox One X backwards compatibility mode. It's Xbox Series X or Series S playing these old games on the new system. So it utilizes. That's why it can do auto HDR on games that never had HDR, because it's not just playing the PlayStation 4 version or the PlayStation 4 Pro version or the Xbox One X version or the Xbox One S version. It's actually playing it on the new hardware. As the power of the new hardware is utilized in playing the game, and that's the difference. And some developers said that as far as getting those BC games to work, all it is a patch. You boom, patch, and boom, it works. But on the PlayStation, if you want Miles Morales on PlayStation 5, it's not a patch. They have to make a PlayStation 5 version of Miles Morales. And that's totally different. Because of how they did backwards compatibility, they can't just take the PlayStation 4 Pro version, let's just say, and put it in the PlayStation 5 and it says, oh, here's your patch. Nope. They have to actually make a PlayStation 5 version of that game, or any other game for that matter, in order for that game to utilize the PlayStation 5. And that's where I can see, we're using the power of the PlayStation 5. Like, yes, because you can't do it any other way. That's how the architecture works on the PlayStation. So I'm like, doesn't seem like a benefit. I guess it doesn't really matter. For the long term, it does matter, because you may get some benefits, right, from the more power of the PlayStation 5, but you won't get the possibility of them on the Xbox side of like, say there's another Xbox coming down the line 3 or 4 or 5 years, and it's twice as powerful than the Xbox Series X, right? And you say, it's backwards compatible too, and we did it the same way. So now the games that were backwards compatible for Series X, right? And it's like, oh man, look at these enhancements. Now that gets even further enhanced on the newer system, but for PlayStation 5 games, that's not how. If they keep doing this, that's not how. Like a PlayStation 4 Pro game on the PlayStation 6, it's probably gonna play like a PlayStation 4 Pro game because of how they're doing backwards compatibility. And if they continue to do this moving forward, then sure, it can play the games, but it's limiting how the hardware can improve the games, whether it's frame rate, whether it's auto HDR, whether it's up-resing, 9 times what the Xbox One X did for a lot of Xbox 360 games and stuff. Just automatically, it was, through the backwards compatibility team. But it's 2 different approaches to backwards compatibility. I think Sony took the easier route, in that they're doing it on a hardware level, where the hardware says, this is PlayStation 4 games, boom, and it doesn't. It doesn't work all the time, but yeah, sure. I think it's a wider net, I guess, to cast. But on Xbox side, they have a team dedicated to it, so they go to each game and then blah 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 blah, and they beep boop boop, and they do it. So I guess Microsoft has more money, so they can pay more people to do that stuff, which is fine, because that's job security. It's like, I work at the backwards compatible team. I'm be here forever. As long as they put out consoles, I'm here. I gotta make these games work, son. So I don't know. It's interesting. I think that the narrative right now, is multi-plats work better on the PlayStation 5. I think as time marches on, and as these developers are developing on the appropriate kits, dev kits, the GDKs on the Xbox side, we're gonna see a different story. And the narrative will change because by then there'll be more first-party games out on PlayStation, and then it's gonna switch back. This is my prediction. The narrative will switch back to first-party games, better than Xbox first-party games, whatever. Right now, the narrative is, we got the more powerful multiplayer, so they work better on PlayStation, right? It's like, okay. But when that isn't the case anymore, it's gonna switch to first-party games. I mean, it's like not hard to predict. It's like, yeah, okay, that's a dumbass kid. That kid's gonna do some dumbass stuff. Yeah. I mean, I could have said something else, which could have been exactly true, but I didn't want to go there because I'm happy right now. Happiness is great. There's been a dark cloud over my brain for the past, 4 years or so. I tend that. You remember I was saying I'm so angry. I'm an angry boy. Blah blah blah. Right? I'm not angry. I'm still angry, but I'm not that angry no more. Actually, I don't feel angry. Not at the moment. I'm hungry. I'm not angry though. I'm gonna eat a lot of food. But anyway, I got nothing else. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Me barely talking about Star Wars because I don't want to spoil it for Kajudo. So, but next week I'm gonna spoil it all. So, keep up. You better watch on Friday. You better watch it. Better watch next week's, man. I think there are 9 episodes. I don't even actually remember how many episodes there are this season, but it's cool. I like it. I like it a lot. Today, I should have said this at the beginning of the show. Today I was planting tomatoes, so I'm a little tired. They are tomatoes from Canada, which is you're not supposed to bring produce from other. And I said this on. Actually, they were seeds, I believe. But it doesn't matter because it's all family owned. So Monsanto, you can kiss my grits. They're real, organic, yum Canadian tomatoes. And I was digging into the ground, and there's a lot of juicy earthworms. And I was like, yes, we got juicy earthworms. So a tomato should be good. I gotta build a little structure so I can tie them up. But yeah, man, this is cool stuff that's happening, and I'm tired. But without further ado, blah, 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 whatever. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Let's read the people that were in chat. Read them in chat. Do. DC Nate. Pacey. Hey, Pace. Alt. DC. Well, I said that already. Me. Hey, Jude. Jedi of Light. Malcolm Owen. Metal. Shadow Next Gen. Tiger Claw. And Zappy. And everybody else. If you're on Facebook. Well, I tried to pull up Facebook, but it was like, nope. It was nope. It definitely noped me out. So I was like, whatever, man. Hopefully next week I will have the new intro page. I totally stopped working on it. Maybe I'll work on it this week. I don't know. I'm still working on the video, which I think I postponed the video till January because it's Christmas time right now. So nobody cares about my goofy video. So brand new year, brand new video. And that way I can add some jib jabs and dip dupes on it and stuff. And just make it better than it would have been if I would have released it as is. And I got to fix some things on the music side too. But I mean, I could have released it. But so I started this in end of September. No, mid-September. So it's taking me a couple months. October, November, December. So maybe 4 months by the end. But in my defense, every shot is CG. Every shot is VFX. And I'm a one guy. You know, I had to build everything. I had to build it. Then there was live action stuff in it too. I still haven't finished filming the live action stuff. I'm trying to figure out all the pieces first, and I've pretty much done that. And now there's all different elements, and then I have to do that. After I do that, I have to go back. I'm like rendering each scene like 3 or 4 times because I was like, I messed that up, so I gotta go render. I want to add this, and I gotta render it. So that's my bad, but it's a learning experience. And also, this is helping me, last thing, this is helping me revisualize the first video, Adrift, the song I wrote a long time ago. I might actually revisit the lyrics on that, or just revisit the actual track itself, and how it's, whatchamacallit. I think I'm going to change the melody, basically. Make it more of a singy song than just a rap. I think I'm going to do that. But, that being said, it has changed my thought as far as how I want the video to be. I still might do a one shot, but now I know that I can actually do live action stuff with the CG, and how I'm doing it kind of works for now. And I'm using this is the camera I'm using, my phone. I'm using my phone camera to film everything, because I have these other two cameras right here, and they're 4K as well. I don't have an actual 4K DSLR. So those are only 4K cameras I have, and my current camera, my Galaxy A51, which is not a super dope camera, it's super low budget, whatever, but it's the best 4K camera. And then Nokia, I think the Nokia might be the better thing. The thing about the Nokia that is better is that I can control the actual focus on it for video. And I can't do that on the Galaxy. I can't do it unless there's an app I can, maybe a third-party camera app, maybe, probably. I haven't looked into it, but as far as just the regular app that's on there, it's autofocus. So, you know. But the cool thing about it is that it's I mean, this has probably been in phones forever, but this is the first phone that I know that I've had, or I've realized it has voice-activated camera control, so I can just be like, I can say shoot and it'll shoot a picture. But if I say record video, it'll record the video. So I can be at my one position wherever I need to be for the shot, and then be like, shoot video, and it bloop bloop, and it starts shooting. And I can do the thing, and I just go over and press stop on it. I think there should be a command to stop it too. So I think I'll look into that. But anyway, that's what I've been doing, and it's interesting and blah blah blah. But anyway, appreciate you guys hanging out. Let's see what we're gonna play to get out of here. Whoa. Nope. Nah. No. 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 Oh, well, yeah, we'll play that one. Look cool. Alright, y'all. Thanks for hanging out. I will see you next week. To the wait.